Good afternoon. Welcome to the Long Live Third Parties podcast. Free Press Media Press, Inc., a third-party books publisher, sponsors this podcast. I'm Andrew Bouchard. Today I read the case Peroutka versus Cronin, 179P3D 1050, Hawaii Supreme Court, 2008. Friends, we got a case to inspire us today to take third parties and ballot access for third parties to the next level. This case involves the Constitution Party and the Green Party, and a couple independent candidates here. They don't say they mention these other candidates, Robert Stiver and David Porter. They don't associate them with any third parties, so it appears they are independent candidates. It looks like from this case, they combined. It says here this is a consolidated case. So I'm not sure if they joined forces directly or if that's just the way the court is putting it together. It looks like that's the way the court is putting it together. So if you have any knowledge about that, let me know. What specifically happened? Let's read from the record. It says, quote, Appellants Michael A. Peroutka, Chuck Baldwin, David P. Porter, and Ralph Nader, Peter Miguel Camijo, and Robert H. Stiver, collectively appellants, appealed from the First Circuit Court's April 5, 2005 final judgments in favor of appellee Kevin B. Cronin, Chief Election Officer. The instant case is a consolidated secondary appeal from the Circuit Court's April 5, 2005 judgments affirming the decision of the Chief Election Officer. On appeal, appellants present the following points of error. 1. The Circuit Court erred in determining the procedures used in verifying signatures on appellants' nomination petitions are unconstitutional. 2. The Circuit Court erred in determining that the review of the appellant's petitions by the Chief Election Officer was not arbitrary or capricious. And 3. The Circuit Court erred in determining that appellants were provided a fair administrative hearing. End quote. Since either the appellants or the court put the third parties and the independents together, I ask you this. Do third parties and independents have the same interests that they should combine in ballot access cases, or do they have different interests? Does it depend on the case? Maybe in some cases they have similar enough interests that they can combine. In other cases they're different. Are thus ballot access cases essentially the same for third parties as they are for independent candidates? Let me know what you think. A big issue on this case was deciding the validity of the signatures, it says. The case discussed how some of the signatures were ones you couldn't read, and other signatures had a different address based upon what was shown in the voter record system, which is what they used to verify addresses. The appellants claimed that some of the addresses changed, as you would expect. Thus, because the voters are still valid voters, just because the address differs from what's in the system, they should still have the right to be on the ballot. So what do you think about that? I assume you believe our friends here have a valid point in asserting that. Do you see any holes in the argument? Is there a way we could better the argument? What do you think? Unfortunately, because of this discrepancy here, the election officer who reviewed the hearing noted it wasn't valid signatures. They didn't get enough after they removed the invalid ones. Alas, alas. That demonstrates the difficulties of ballot access. So ultimately, unfortunately, they had to conclude as follows. They say, quote, based on the foregoing analysis, we affirm the Circuit Court's April 5, 2005 final judgments. End quote. Alas, alas. Good job for trying, my friends. Good job for trying. I've seen Ralph Nader's name on these cases several times at least. Multiple times. In fact, we may very well do another case involving Nader. The Green Party comes up again and again. So props to you all for fighting that. Let's tip our hats to you, third parties, for fighting for this in any way, shape, or form you can find. You want to get on the ballot, and therefore you do what you can to get on the ballot. You find whatever holes to poke in their arguments that you can. So way to go. Long live third parties. Goodbye.